Hi, this is Glenda, and I had plans to show you how to make a penguin soap today, but instead things went differently. More to that later. I have here the oils, which are at 113 Fahrenheit or 45 Celsius, and the light water solution should be at room temperature, which today it means 23 Celsius or 73 Fahrenheit. I'm gonna start by adding this light water solution to the oils. Light water solution is pretty much sodium hydroxide mixed with water in specific amounts to convert these oils into soap. I like to start by just stirring the oils with a spatula for a couple minutes before using the stick blender. Lately, I've been using rosemary oleoresin on the soaps, which is why they get this red tint to them. This does not stay in the final soap. I use it because it helps prevent rancidity in the soaps, which in turn will avoid DOS or dreaded orange spots. I will also be using EDTA in this soap as a chelator. This will help with how the soap performs in hard water areas. It will also reduce the chance of DOS, reduces soap scum, and increases bubbles. The main reason I'm using it is because this soap is going to be colored in black, and I want to reduce black soap scum in my shower. The fragrance that I will be using for this soap is Comfort and Joy from Nurture Soap, which usually has behaved fairly well. It does not accelerate crazy, but it doesn't stay fluid necessarily. But I thought that was gonna be okay for this soap. Boy, was I wrong. After adding the fragrance, I alternated between blending and stirring the soap until it had reached a very light trace. Then I divided it into 3 containers to color them individually. And you can tell that here the soap batter is already looking thicker. If you want to see the exact color measurements that I use, I will link them in the description box below in the blog post. I will also link my recipe in case you care to look. I had put the soap into condiment bottles because my plan was to make a penguin, and I thought this would be a better way to use the divider that I had made. I've been playing with my 3D printer and different dividers and tools that I could make for soap making. So I thought about making this penguin, and the problem was that this soap was too thick when I was trying to put it on the container, so that when I tried to pull it up, the design didn't quite work out. Eventually, I got the penguins done, but that would probably be another video. Meanwhile, I decided to abandon ship and jump into a different project using the same soap batter. I'm using a Snowflake pull screen disc that I had 3D printed as well. However, it seemed that my soap batter was still too thick for this, so I decided to add a little bit of oil to see if that will help loosening it up a bit. It didn't quite work on the condiment bottle, but once I got it out and mixed it in the container, it seemed to become a little more fluid then. At some point, I also added a little bit of water to the mix to see if that will help with the fluidity, because I didn't want to keep adding oil and increasing my super fat this way. It was too thick to make it through the funnel, so I did have to remove it and try to pour it without. Usually, when you use the pull screen method, you want your soap batter to be in between light and medium trays. Mine is at heavy trays, so I'm surprised that it worked at all. When pouring it, I did try to pour it down the road so that it will keep it centered, and I alternated the white and black mostly with a little bit of the orange in between. After pouring about halfway through the mold, I pulled on the screen very slowly until it was out. I then had a lot of leftover soap, and I decided to pour it into an 8-inch loaf. Initially, I was concerned that the black and white was going to look just like a cow print, like a black and white cow. I have nothing against cows, I love them. However, I was trying to make this into a Christmas soap because of the scent. So I figured that maybe if I swirl it a little bit, I could get more of a marble effect. I had made some snowmen with soap dough for a different project, but I decided to use them here to sort of help rescue this soap batter. I published a video last year on the making of the snowman. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to link it in the description box in case you want to. After removing the soap from the mold, I was very curious to cut it and see what it was going to look like. You can tell that I'm going to have some air pockets from the soap batter being so thick, but I was curious to see if the pool screen disc had worked at all. From the size, you can see that it's mostly black board on the outside, which is what I was surprised that most of the bars were actually white. I was really happy that the pattern could be seen, and this is the closest I've come to a snowflake pattern on a pool screen disc, and I've been trying it for a while. So I was actually really excited to cut into this. I can also see spider web, but it mostly looks like a snowflake to me. Now, as far as the love mold, as you can tell, I ran out of snowmen, so I also use a couple other animals that I thought would be Christmassy enough. And even though I did not get a marble effect on the soap, it looks almost like a zebra print. So it's okay. I'm not completely unhappy with them. I did add the Snowflake disc to my website in case you want to check it out. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you next week. Bye.